Hey, good morning. How are you all today? It's just the end of us. That's what I want to talk about this morning. I just put something up over on the American Reversion channel, a video by Victor Davis Hanson. And many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with him. I like to listen to that guy. I like the way he thinks. I like the way he talks. I like the way that he puts things succinctly, clearly, plainly, and the way that he brings a number of disparate things together, seemingly disparate, but they all fit together into it. And his contention in today's video was that this is America's last chance, or this is the last chance for the United States. And he's talking about the election, and I tend to agree with him. That's what I want to talk about. I don't think that as a country, the United States is going to last much longer, and I think that it's important for anybody seriously interested in preparedness to be prepared for that, get prepared, and be prepared, stay prepared for that. Before we get into that, I want to remind you all of the upcoming Integrative Preparedness Stonemont Summer Gathering coming up July 13th. That's just a little over a month from now. It's in the Kansas City area. It's on the Kansas side of the greater Kansas City area. In Lenexa, Kansas. A beautiful place, a very safe place. We don't allow Kansas City over here in Kansas. We don't allow that foolishness. So it's a beautiful place. It's going to be at a beautiful lake, a place, nice shelter house, grills. We're going to do some hot dogs and hamburgers and just kind of a get together, you know. They got a lake. You can rent boats and you can fish and there's hiking trails. Just going to be a day when a lot of us get together and meet each other and have a chance to talk and hang out. I'm going to limit it to 150 people, and so that's my way of explaining. In order to come, you have to register for it. It doesn't cost anything to come. We just need to know, how many people are going to be here so we can cut it off at the right place. In order to register, come to our website, stonemont.us, stonemont.us, not .com, .us, and it's where you buy my books. It's where you get T-shirts. And there is a tab on there that says events. Go to the event tab, click it, fill it out, let us know how many people are going to be coming with you. Somebody asked, can I bring friends? Yeah, bring friends, bring family. The first 150 people that get in, and then I'm going to have to stop it. Also, we're going to be printing up the official gathering mug for anybody who would like to get one. Going to keep the cost way down because the purpose on this is not to make money, but for everybody who came to have one of these. And on the other side it says prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Semper Paratus, Integrative Preparedness, Stonemont. Is that not a beautiful mug? Yes, it is. Okay. Also to remind you that this and all my videos are brought to you by the Stonemont series, my books, the complete guide for preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a complete collapse of everything. People have been saying for years it's the best series they've ever read about those things. You'll love the story, and you'll learn more than you can imagine. It's 6 books so far. I'm in the middle of editing the 7th, but the ones that are already out are The Reversion, The Revival, The Renewal, An Appeal to Heaven, The Blessings of Freedom, and Hostages to Fortune. And this latest one is On Wings Like Eagles, and I should be getting it to the printer within the next few days, and then we'll see how quickly we can get that out for you all to get it. If you, in order to get those books, you can get them through Amazon. I put the link down below. You can get them through Amazon in either paperback, Kindle, or Audible, and people are loving the Audible. Or you can get them directly from me, only the paperback, through our website, stonemont.us. Then I get to sign them for you and write a little note into you. And I love doing that, but I can't get them to you as quickly. Right now I'm sold out. We've been waiting, as I've said before. We have people who have ordered still waiting on their books because I'm waiting to get them in. It's a great problem to have. I mean, I'm sorry that it's taken longer than I'd like for people to get their books, but I mean, I've just been swamped, right? And so that's great. I love people order them from me. Just be patient. If you can be patient, order them from me. If you can't be patient, get them from Amazon. Okay, let's talk about the end of us. Do I think that it's going to be the end of us? And the very simple answer is yes. Now, that kind of depends on what us is, right? U.S., United States, yeah, it's the end of the United States. There's no way that this can keep on going the way it is. It's unsustainable. We have the apple. It doesn't just have a wormhole in it. It's corrupt to the core. Once you've lost the core, you've lost it. You've lost it. There is no coming back from that. And I want to talk about that for a minute. But if you're talking about us as far as like-minded people, no, I think we have a future ahead of us, and I think it could be a very good future depending on how prepared you are, depending on how ready you are. Hanson's, like I said, he brought these things together very, very well. And it's nothing that you're not familiar with, but I think that a lot of people are still having difficulty accepting the fact that this whole really wonderful life that we've had, to be honest. And there's some people out there whose lives have not been wonderful. I'm sorry. But most people, when you compare us to the rest of the world, we live unbelievable lives. We live lives of comfort. We live lives of, to an extent, leisure if you want to. We live lives that pretty much anything that we want, we can get if we can afford it, if we're willing to get off our butts and make the money to get it. Whether that's entertainment or whether that's preparedness. We live in a time and a country that pretty much anything has been possible and limited only by our desires, our willingness to work for it, our determination, our creativity, our imagination, and our refusal to give up. Okay, if people that share those attributes are successful, that's pretty much all. I've said many, many times, you have to work at it to be a failure in the United States now. Okay. And yet, when we compare how it used to be, those of you who, like me, are old enough to remember the 50s and the 60s, it was a much different time. The average family lived in a fairly small house by today's standard, maybe 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Dad went to work during the day, mom stayed home, cooked the meals, cleaned the house, took care of the kids, was always there with milk and cookies when we got home from school. 1 car. Didn't spend a lot of extra money doing things. Maybe a summer vacation on most summers. Went to church on Sundays, got together with family, and that was it. We were not a consumer-driven country so much as we were a family-centered, community-centered, God-centered country. Well, Madison Avenue, through their pumping up the idea in the American mind that we needed to have more stuff, changed that. Now we've got all the stuff in the world, and even the people who think that they are poor have more stuff than we did back then. Excuse me. Oh, it tastes even better out of this. But of course, it began the decay of the core, and now there is nothing with a decayed core of our country, and I don't think it's anything that anybody can argue with. The corruption in our country, the corruption in our government, and yeah, there were crooks back in days before. We know that, but the depth of the corruption is so far beyond what it has been before. There's no coming back. The cancer has progressed. It's metastasized. It is in every part of this country, and every part of this government, and every part of corporate America, and our health system, everything. You know what I'm referring to. And there is no saving it, in my opinion. Now, what it is, the hope, at least for me, is that we will get another slight reprieve with the coming election. Hanson said this is our last chance. I think that our last chance we already had. And I think that if Trump is elected, we only get a reprieve because he's not going to be able to fix it. There's no way. It's too deep. The swamp is too deep, too pervasive, and persuasive. The moral core of our country is gone. Excuse me, my hiccup. And so if he's able to do anything, it's only going to be for a very few short years. He might give us another pause in order to prepare for what's really coming. You know, back when he got elected, at first I told everybody, we either have a 4-year pause or an 8-year pause, but then it's going to continue on. Turned out we had a 4-year. I would have much preferred an 8-year, as I'm sure you would, but the idea that even if no matter what he's able to do, the idea that someone will continue to carry on after that, I think that's pie in the sky. I don't think there's any hope for that. Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? The idea of a strong president, look at Reagan, and look what came after him, George Bush. They make deals for their vice presidents in order to get elected, and I don't see anybody out there with the strength and the will to fight that Trump does. And, you know, you can say DeSantis. I still don't like DeSantis because he stabbed Trump in the back. He said he wouldn't run, and he did. So I don't trust DeSantis. He does a lot of good things in Florida. He doesn't have the charisma. He's got a whiny voice. I don't think he's the fighter that Trump is at all. J.D. Vance, he's a bulldog, but he's got that kind of... he puts a lot of people off, too, and even though I like his stand... He's no Trump. Kristi Noem? No. You know, I don't care that she shot that. Well, maybe I shouldn't even say that. Sometimes you do what you have to do. No, I don't think that she's got it in her. I don't know. You know, somebody said, well, you know, I don't think a woman should ever be president. Why? They said, well, other countries won't respect, a woman leader. Yeah, you remember Margaret Thatcher? Golda Meir? So I don't have anything against a woman. It's just that they're not going to be Trump. They're not going to have that energy. They're not going to have that willingness, that desire to fight. Now, hopefully, he's learned his lesson. I don't know if he has or not. I'm going to make one here in a little bit for the American Reversion channel with some questions and some suggestions to him. And one of them is, you better have learned your lesson. You know, for a guy who most people first learned about from him saying you're fired, he didn't fire near enough people fast enough, and that was his problem. He surrounded himself with people who betrayed him, and that's not smart. That concerns me. You know, I mean, you can't always make perfect choices. Sometimes, you know, you choose from the candidate pool, and he wasn't a politician. He didn't know the background of these people enough. Maybe he should have checked them out farther, but he didn't, and so that was some of his big mistakes. But if he wins, it's going to give us a short reprieve. Now, how do we use that reprieve? That's the important thing. And to what extent is it a reprieve? Because I don't have any hope. Like I said, I don't have any hope that there's going to be another leader follow him that will continue along the line we need to go. Nor do I have any hope that the American people as a whole, I don't care how upset they are right now, that the American people as a whole will continue fighting against the oppression that they're all upset about now. You know why? Because the left, being good little commies, they follow their 500-year plan. They've been very successful at it, and they've been very successful at it politically. They have won. They have destroyed this country through politics. On the right, or on the more conservative, however they want to frame themselves, they don't have the stick-to-itiveness of that. You know, people may be all upset about everything that's going on now, but they'll be upset till tomorrow at lunch. You know, and then you have the people that won't participate at all, because they just want to hide in this, well, all politics are dirty, I'm not involved, all that. Well, they're as much of a problem as the people who work against us. People who won't support you are helping those who are against you, right? So as soon as Trump gets in, if he gets in, 90% of the people who are all upset about things right now are going to go, okay, it's done. He's going to save us. It's over. We have saved the country, blah, and they're going to go right back to their same lives. And Trump will fight, for 3.5 or 4 years. And everybody will get all excited about the things he's doing. They'll watch Fox News and Newsmax and all that and go, yeah. But you know what's not going to happen? He's not going to prosecute the people that ought to be prosecuted. He's not going to get everything done that he should get done. And even the things that he should get done, if he strengthens us back on the world stage, if he cools everything out like he did before, it doesn't matter, because the next person coming in, even if it's his vice president, is not going to have the strength to continue it, and they're going to be rolled by the other side, just like George Bush was rolled. Of course, he was a one world government guy to begin with. So is this the end of us? Isn't there a show, and I didn't mean to spin off on that, but it seems like, I don't watch movies. I don't watch these things very much. Doesn't mean that I might not enjoy them, but I just don't have time. I don't think about it. Most movies I find are stupid, and they bore me. Don't you find life more interesting than a movie? I mean, really? If you're paying attention, you do. If you're doing something, you do. Although you can find good. And sure enough, I know I'll watch some movie here in the next few days and go, oh, that was really good. There's some lessons in there, and then I'll suggest it. But for the most part, I don't watch movies. But isn't there some show called the End of Us or The Last of Us or something like that? Anyway, I have no idea whether it's about anything about this. It just rings a bell. But the important thing is, it is the end, in my opinion, of the United States as the country that it's always been. Now, it may go on and continue to be a political entity. Look at Great Britain. It's still a country, but it's not the country it used to be. And I wouldn't want to live there. Would you? But then I hardly want to live here anymore. Do you? This is where the idea comes from. The people that say, we just need to get this going and get it over with. I can't. And while I understand that. I really do. It's difficult for us who live very good lives, very comfortable lives. Pretty much anything that we want to do, we can do. Pretty much anything we want to have, we can have. We're just willing to work hard enough for it, okay? You got to, like I've said, you got to try to be poor in America today. Not much longer. And anyway, I understand that feeling of let's get it going and get it over with. But boy, it's tough. It's tough when you think about your kids and your grandkids and all the opportunities they have now. That would be totally disrupted. The loss of life if things get worse. You know what? We don't have to decide which we prefer, because something's going to happen. What we do need to be is ready when it happens, for whatever happens. And that's just a matter of basic and then advanced preparedness. I always say, you're going to live better now if you have divorced yourself from dependence on the external systems over which you have little or no control, right? You're happier if you've taken yourself out from underneath the boot. And I know there's always a little boot on you, right? But if you've read my books, you know how to take care of that. But the boot that's coming is a heavy boot. And the extent to which you're able to separate yourself from that dependence on the person wearing the boot, the better your life's going to be. And that's what everybody needs to be doing right now. So the end of us, end of the United States as it was, yes. The end of me, no, I don't intend it to be. The end of you, I hope not. And that's going to depend on how prepared we are. Okay? So get at it. Whatever you're doing, get harder. Understand, be willing to be the one who sees the possibility of the collapse. And I don't mean just talk about it, because I think there's a lot of people in the preparedness world that love talking about the collapse and haven't really visualized it. Those people are going to be surprised. They're not going to last. You have to really visualize, understand what a collapse would be, and that's what you have to get ready for. Okay? All right, one more reminder. Remember, if you want to join us for the get-together, the gathering this summer, July 13th, Lenexa, Kansas, go to the stonemont.us website, get yourself registered. More information will be up there. It's going to be a great time. Family friendly. No cussing, no yelling, no hollering, just a whole bunch of good people with some hot dogs and hamburgers and I don't think they allow adult beverages at this. So what? Have a Coke, right? Okay? And with some good people. I hope you're there. I'd love to meet. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. And I think everybody's looking forward to meeting each other. You know, the other people that you see in the comment section, and just other people that you maybe never comment, but you're gonna be so glad that you met them. So that's there. Register for that. Remember, if you want the books, go to either Amazon.com, the link's down below, or our website, stonemont.us, down there. I'm waiting for that load to get in, but you can keep ordering from me. However backed up it is, I'll get them to you. And learn from it. When you read the Stonemont series, read it as a great story, but as a blueprint to what you need to be doing to prepare yourself for pretty much anything. Okay? Y'all have a good day. Remember, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Prepare well so you can live well. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.